Hi, this is Les-Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. Many of you have been bemoaning the fact that Baker-Mayfield apparently can't throw the ball anymore, and Freddie-Kitchens has forgotten how to call plays after just 1 year. While you've been doing that, I've been watching some great baseball. I've seen St. Louis score 10 runs in the first inning. I've seen Howie Kendrick with a grand slam home run as the Nats defeated the Los Angeles Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw, their ace, came out of the bullpen, threw 6 pitches, 2 of them back-to-back home runs. And tonight, it's Tampa Bay. The Rays will take on the best team of all remaining in the playoffs, and that, of course, would be the Houston Astros. It should be a great game, and it reminds me that if the Indians could have just gotten into the postseason somehow, they might have been in the same shape as the Rays. Bud Shaw is here tonight. More Sports and Les-Levine is on the air.
Right now the season can go either way. We're at that fork in the road. And it's funny, we're all having these conversations, whereas I feel like in the past this team might have been 1-4, 0-5, and now we're all upset because we're 2-3. So that's a good mindset that we have, that we're upset that we're 2-3, and we know that we're capable of doing more. It's just about doing more.
From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les-Levine, it's a Thursday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les-Levine, into our 24th consecutive year and seen exclusively on cleveland.com. Bud Shaw is here from WKYC.com. Let me fess up to something first.
Okay.
Normally, I'm gonna pull the curtain back a little bit. Normally, we tape that open. Mm-hmm. And it sometimes takes 1 take, sometimes 27. No,
I've never seen it take 27, but it came close today.
But tonight, for whatever reason, we decided to do it live when it got to that point. And I was talking about Howie Kendrick and his grand slam home run, and unfortunately I said Howie Chiswick, the late Howie Chiswick, who everybody knows was the great PA voice at the old Richfield Coliseum, and I apologize profusely for that. Howie was one of the great guys of all time.
Yeah, well, it'd be surprising if Howie hit it anyway, let alone the fact that he's the late,
somebody
the late
would say
Howie Chiswick.
Howie was a terrific guy and a terrific announcer, but there's no way he would have hit a grand slam home run.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, you're entitled to make one mistake every, what has it been, 24 years now?
24 years, yeah. Well, that's true. It's just that I have had a few more than that.
Who's counting?
What's new?
That clip made me laugh a little bit. It's like, if you say to these guys, hey, the Browns players, hey, you haven't won on Monday night in 10 years, they'd say, that has nothing, that's irrelevant. We're all new players. We all came from somewhere else. But when it fits their narrative.
Right. Like what?
Wow, we used to be, this team's been 0-4 or 1-4 and 0-5 before, and now people are getting upset that we're 2-3. I guess that's progress. No, they're upset because you guys have been looking like, we think, up till the season starting,
right,
like this might be the year you're a playoff team. So it started now. Odell-Beckham-Jr. is on the team with Baker-Mayfield. Right. It's a new era, supposedly, and they still don't look very good coming up on 6 weeks into the season. That's why people are starting to question.
And at this point in the season, they've been beaten by, 30 points in 20 whatever? I mean, in the NFL,
28. And what was it, 30? Yeah, 30 and 28.
That shouldn't happen in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a few instances like that this year where teams have lost big. So I try not to get too carried away with the margin of defeat, because I think games can get away from you. Like, I think that Tennessee game got away from that.
Yeah, they were in it till the fourth quarter.
Up until the Derrick Henry screen pass, they were still there. And I think the Ravens were also in that game until the Nick-Chubb run. And then it got out of hand. But up to that point, it was a 6-point game with the Ravens looking at maybe holding them and getting possession. So
and
the fact that it ended up looking worse on the scoreboard, I don't put a whole lot of stock in that.
If you get a catch at the goal line instead of an interception on the deflection, you're right in the game at 14-10.
Yeah. Now, the way that game was going, and it seemed to me the Browns were a step slow from the first play of the game on.
Right.
I don't know that they win that with that catch, but certainly it turned.
They're in the game.
It turned the tide pretty
You don't
seriously.
know what's going to happen. Then then you find out if San Francisco is a phony team or not.
Yeah, San Francisco, in their defense, yeah, people say, well, they only beat Tampa Bay, but they beat them 41-17
Right.
or 31-17. They
Yeah,
only
but
beat the
Pittsburgh
Bengals, but they beat them 41-17.
Right.
And Pittsburgh, Baltimore just had to go to overtime to beat Pittsburgh too. So.
Right.
I think the Niners showed something. They felt like they needed to show something. And I had a theory going into that game that the early season bye would be more of a detriment than a benefit for the Niners, thinking that they had just started, they were 3-0, and now they had to take a week off.
Right.
And now they're sitting around drumming their fingers, wondering, like, are we still going to have what we got? It looked like from the first play on they did.
The Browns, on the other hand, have Seattle at home, then the bye week comes, and then you come back with the New England Patriots. That's not good. Although it does, at least on paper, gets a little easier the last 7 games.
It does, and in my ad-lib opening comment, I'm going to talk about what the worry signs with Baker-Mayfield, and if those don't improve, it doesn't matter how easy the second half of the schedule is.
A great point. This first segment, More Sports and Les-Levine, brought to you by the Ohio Lottery with Pick 3, Pick 4, and Pick 5 games. We'll talk about that a little bit later. All right. Oh, you do have a commentary. I totally forgot.
Ad-lib. Totally,
let's hear it.
ad-lib, and I'm going to look over here just
and it was
in
Howie
case.
Kendrick who hit the home run.
Howie Kendrick. All right. When we ask what's wrong with Baker Mayfield, we're not talking about pregame handshakes or whether marriage and commercial endorsements have changed him in any substantial way. We're talking about his accuracy. Mayfield was one of the most accurate quarterbacks a year ago, and now he trails only Josh Rosen in that category. The Browns quarterback leads the league in interceptions. Let that sink in for a minute. The Browns will still pile up wins against one of the weakest second-half schedules in the NFL, but the problems on offense, particularly with the franchise quarterback, he is still that, right, Les? He's still the franchise quarterback?
Well, we have a question of the day. We'll find out.
That makes them, in my mind, a suspect playoff team at best. Advanced stats, compliments of ESPN cleveland.com, suggest that while the offensive line hasn't been good, Mayfield's accuracy isn't significantly higher when he's well protected. Whatever that suggests, and maybe poor mechanics come to mind, it might well be something that's not fixed until the offseason. Until then, maybe we should hold off on Super Bowl talk until we see evidence of a quarterback who can take them there.
All right, what is that called, advanced stats?
I just called I forget, it's called like next-gen stats.
Okay.
And what they do is they take the snaps when the quarterback is well protected. No hits, no rushes, no
But how
sacks.
do they know if the guy is blocking the right guy and shouldn't have been shifted over to the left or to the right?
Well,
to
they're
make a block?
not. I mean, that's the separate thing where they're grading offensive line, I think. Well, and this stat is on those snaps when nobody puts pressure on the quarterback. How accurate is he?
Okay.
And his accuracy numbers, which I thought were through the roof last year, do not go up considerably when he's not under pressure. So something is off, and I don't know what it is.
All right, let's have a comparison right here, and we'll see exactly what Bud is talking about. Is it a sophomore jinx? Well, there you see it. On the left is last year. On the right is this year. You see anything there that sticks out besides the record 6-7, now 2-3?
No, the interceptions. Obviously he's leading the league with 8 interceptions right now. The other thing that isn't on there, Les, that is probably a factor is I think he's been sacked something like 16 or 17 times.
Last year he really got hurt.
I mean, over the last 8 games last year, he was sacked 5 times. So I think that goes on. That was a better offensive line, and he was obviously getting rid of the ball quicker last year.
Okay,
we just don't see that.
If we can put that back up, I think I have the answer to what the problem is. If we can just get that up. There, on the left there, you see how big that helmet is?
Yeah,
Who
that
could possibly throw with that thing wobbling back and forth?
Yeah, that thing's got to be...
it's got to be bolstered a little bit. I mean...
His vision
Paul Brown invented the chin strap. He should be able to come up with something there. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. You can email us during the show at reallesslevine@gmail.com. Bud Shaw with us. The Browns take on the Seattle Seahawks coming up on Sunday afternoon. A rare 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, and I think when we looked at this originally when we played that schedule game early on, you knew this is going to be a tough first half of the season, but I think you looked at Seattle at home and thought they could maybe get them there, Now,
not as it's going on.
And I'm not saying they can't win this game. They certainly could, but right now If you bet, if you believe in picking teams based on who you think has the advantage on the sideline and at behind center,
Right.
it would be hard to pick against Seattle right now.
No question about that. I've got the stat of the month, however.
What is that?
It's, did you know that there's over $6.25 million paid out on the Ohio Lottery pick games every week? With that amount of money, stop by your local retailer, try your luck with Pick 3, Pick 4, and Pick 5. Bud Shaw with us. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine. New content posted each and every day. And if it's good enough, we'll read it on the air and sometimes show you pictures, sometimes not. But we'll get it on the air for you right here. More Sports and Les Levine, which is seen exclusively on cleveland.com.
Downtown Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downtown Casino.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
I don't see it as tough. The tough part is not moving the ball, not winning. I mean, to me, that's the frustrating thing. It's not, there's nothing in terms of organizationally or the staff or the things or the players. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just frustrating because we're paid to do a job. I mean, that's the fact. I mean, this is a bottom line business. And right now we're not as successful as we'd like to be, and that's not good enough. I mean, we've got to find a way to be more consistent. And again, but it is, I will say this, it's a week-to-week league, and it doesn't take long to get some of these things resolved, and all of a sudden momentum is a powerful thing, and you feel good about it. We obviously didn't carry that over, but again, we're on to Seattle. I know that's everybody says that, but we have to be. I mean, that is what it is. I mean, we got to stop looking in the rearview mirror. We've assessed the issues that we've got to try and address. Now it's time to fix them, because believe me, it's no fun coming in here and saying the same thing every week. I promise you, it's not. So the bottom line is it's up to us to fix it. There's no one else coming to save us. It's not like we're going to hire 4 guys outside as a coaching staff and bring in 10 other players. I mean, we have what we have. I mean, this is what we have. We've got to fix it.
More Sports and Les Levine. This portion brought to you by our friends at Northeast Factory Direct. All right, do you get the feeling, Bud, that it's almost like an ongoing soap opera, and you say, now playing the role of Todd Haley will be Todd Monken?
They do sort of all run together after a while, don't they?
When somebody like Haley leaves, does he leave scripts back for him for the next guy? You know,
somewhere there's a...
Don't managers do that? They just leave some words of wisdom?
There's a 32-point PowerPoint presentation that Steve Wilkes will be able to trot out here if he wants out.
Which reminds me, how much fun do you think that Kyle Shanahan had and Nick Bosa had?
A lot. And, you know, Shanahan, I was just reading something online when we came back from the commercial. People probably saw me looking at my phone. I apologize for that. But, you know, one of the questions about this team is, you know, do they need to go out and get Trent Williams or make a deal with Washington for that? and I guess Shanahan was asked about it today because they've lost both starting tackles.
Right.
And they're 4-0, and they're playing pretty well, and they still figure out a way to run the ball despite that. So I don't know. I think Shanahan's an underrated coach. He's had that system that he wants to run, and he gets the personnel for it. And now he's in his third. Is he in his third year as head coach out there?
Yes.
All the years run together.
All right. So, but we got the sense when he left that that the Browns lost a good one.
I thought so too. I know some people still hold it against him that he basically jumped off a sinking ship. But I never held that against him.
Well, you can make an argument that he did.
Yeah, for sure. But he also, I think that he felt like that was probably going to hurt. If he stayed here, it was probably going to hurt his chances to get a head coaching job
with
at
a
some
lot of
point
losses.
Because all those losses were going to reflect on him.
All right, I finally come up with an idea for you and I to write a book.
Really?
Well, things like, things you wish you saw, like the lease agreement to go to Baltimore on the tarmac at Baltimore, and now the 14-point presentation by
32
Shanahan,
point.
or 32-point PowerPoint presentation.
And it probably could have been 62. He probably whittled it down to 32.
He said,
I mean, those years were just so awful. And I try to keep that in mind. Like, nobody is suggesting that this team is that we're talking about the same kind of, disaster and disappointment that we were a few years ago. Nobody's saying that. But it's just you had this high expectation that the one thing that they would have is an offense. That would be the thing that would carry them if they ended up, when they lost, 3 or 4 starters on defense early in the season, you thought, okay, they can get by. And when the offensive line lost, I'm sorry, the guy that went to New York in the trade, when they lost one of their starters, you thought, okay, it's not a great offensive line, but Baker-Mayfield's the kind of guy that gets rid of the ball quick, and he can make up for that. He can protect the offensive line. Instead, I think he's holding the ball longer, or as long almost, as the Aaron Rodgers, who we all know is scrambling around looking for receivers downfield. This doesn't feel the same with Mayfield. It seems like he's running for his life most of the time.
But Baker, to me, has only looked good in one game, and that was the Baltimore game when he looked like he was not throwing off his back foot. That's been a problem all the way, and I assume that means he's not confident in his offensive line, and he's looking to protect himself in case he has to take off and run.
Yeah, I guess there's something. There's obviously something going on there that they don't want to give voice to in public, which I understand, But I'm sure they're working behind the scenes trying to figure out how to make the only time. Remember, they came out in that one exhibition game, and granted, it was just the exhibition game, and it was the Washington Redskins. But they wanted to get their guys off the field as soon as possible, and they came out in sort of the no huddle, and they just went down the field.
Right.
And I'm not suggesting they should be able to get down the field on the San Francisco 49ers, but there was a pace to what they were doing that I think works well in their favor. And you only see it like sporadically. You saw it a little bit in the Baltimore game, and then it disappears for a couple series. Now, maybe they feel like they can't run in that way at that pace all game long.
Well, you can't. You can't do what Buffalo used to do the whole game, but you can do it at certain parts of it.
Yeah. I just haven't seen a real steady, I don't know what they are offensively yet.
No,
and I don't think
and
they
don't.
do
And you don't have to be the same thing every game either.
Yeah, you don't have to be, but you would like this idea that you traded for Odell-Beckham-Jr. and he's got 4 catches for 40 yards in the last 2 weeks.
Why did you bother?
Crazy. It's how do you got to fix that?
All right, I don't know X's and O's from a load of soap, and I'm guessing you don't either. However, don't you think that pro coaches or head coaches would know that if such and such is not happening, you counter with such and such? Isn't there something in their playbook that tells them that?
Yeah,
in their instruction booklet?
Sure. In this San Francisco game, I think clearly they went in after the Baltimore game wanting to run the offense through Nick-Chubb. But then when they got behind as much as they got behind, then it became, all right, we've got to throw the ball. We don't have enough possessions left to run it down the field. So I think they just kind of got out of what they wanted to do, and we'll see whether they can, change that against Seattle. I would think we're going to see the same kind of offense they tried to run against Baltimore when they see Seattle.
By the way, I don't think that's correct to say they didn't have enough times of possession left to do it. If they go get go back to the game plan and go get themselves one touchdown, now they can be a little more helter-skelter and throw the ball around.
Yeah, but
I mean, you don't have to get three touchdowns.
No,
that
true.
way.
But those drives, those drives are going to take longer. But you may have a point. I mean, that game was, what was it at halftime? 21-3 or 24-3? I can't remember.
I think it was 21-3 because it was 14-3. Yeah, 21-3.
Yeah, and we know it could have been worse if San Francisco had figured out their kicking glitches. So,
right. How about that? Of all the things that are good for the Browns, the kicking.
The thing that we looked at and said, why go into the season with a rookie punter and a rookie place kicker if you don't have to? No one has had any reason to question those decisions.
No, it may fall apart.
Yeah, it could be.
But right now they haven't missed.
But I don't think it'll fall apart because of inexperience now. We're watching Gillen punt the ball inside the 20, and that was one of the questions. Like, would he be able to do that? Would he be able to do what Colquitt did last year? And he's doing it just as often and even better.
And getting it inside the 20.
Yeah.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Email us during the show at real-les-levine@gmail.com. Northeast Factory Direct. Bottom line is nobody wants to touch their everyday savings or quality. They've got 3 huge bare-bone warehouses filled with the same stuff you're going to find at the big box stores. Only one significant difference, and that is you're going to pay half price or even less at Northeast Factory Direct. 3 locations, east, west, and south. West 140th Street in Cleveland, the old B&B Appliance in Lakeland Boulevard in Euclid, and Freeway Drive, that's in Macedonia. Or check out everything they have at northeastfactorydirect.com. Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. Catch the excitement of live harness racing every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as well as Saturday and Sunday evenings. Monday through Wednesday, post time 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, post time is 6:40, and it's open early every day for simulcast action from all over the world. Lady Luck's Clubhouse is open every Saturday with a buffet for just $15.95. Call 330-467-4101 for reservations. Bud Shaw and I return in a moment. More Sports and Les Levine, seen exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
There was moisture in the basement. It ruined the carpeting. The smell was terrible. We didn't feel safe in our own basement, and that's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
Oh, gosh. Playing Ohio Lottery Pick 3, I see. What are you going to do? A box bed, a split pairs, or a wheel? Well, old Picky Ricky here is a straight shooter.
Okay.
It razzes my berries when newbies think betting's hard. Straight bets are easy peasy. Just match 3 numbers in order and win the old-fashioned way. This, on the other hand, is not so simple. Oh, God. Oh, jeez Louise. Play the Ohio Lottery Pick 3 today.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Good morning. To say that we didn't play well Monday night is an understatement. Very embarrassing the way the defense performed, and I take full blame and responsibility for that. It's definitely not indicative of who we are. I think when you look at the identity of this defense, each week you're going to tweak a few things. And in the previous 2 weeks, I did that, and we performed well. what I did, I got outside the fundamentals of what we do. And what you saw Monday night, you saw a defense that was thinking too much, that couldn't get aligned, that played slow. And when you see that as a unit, that's on me. And we're going to get back to doing what we do, fundamentals and technique, the identity of what we established from day one. And we're going to get this thing turned around. And we started that yesterday. And with that, I'll take your questions.
All right, first of all, I have total confidence in that guy.
Just comes across like,
I got that one.
Mr. Fix-It.
Yeah, that's it. Here's the other thing. They all got the memo. All the assistant coaches, starting with Freddie-Kitchens and the assistant coaches, that it's on the coaches.
Not on the players.
It's not on the players. It's on the coaches.
Not on the players.
And we're going to coach better. It's a solid front. Do you agree with it, or do you think they should have a little more autonomy?
No, I mean,
excuse me. What's autonomy mean?
I don't know.
They use it right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Like they each could say whatever they really want to say.
There you have it.
Listen, I don't put a whole lot into this kind of stuff because people forget how often Hugh Jackson said, "It's on me. It's on me."
Eventually, it became that way.
It's on me. I got to, we got to do better.
How many "it's on me's" do you get?
Now the difference is that maybe Kitchens and these guys really mean it when they say it. I'm not sure Hugh did.
How many do you think you get though? 2 in a year?
I think somebody asked me. I was out somewhere today publicly, and somebody said, "Do you think there's a possibility that Freddie-Kitchens could be a one-and-done head coach here?" And I thought it was a ridiculous question at first. Not ridiculous that it was asked, but just I thought it was like far-fetched, like, oh no. And then, because you don't put a guy in charge, this is my argument with Chudzinski, right? Chudzinski. You don't put a guy in charge who's never been a head coach before and then halfway through the first season say, you know what, he's not acting like he knows what he's doing in this job. Well, guess what? He probably doesn't. He probably is feeling his way along. So I think it would be an unfair thing to do, but that second half of the schedule is a lot easier with the Dolphins, with Cardinals, the Bengals twice in 3 weeks, Pittsburgh twice without Ben Roethlisberger. If they don't turn it around, Arizona, if they don't turn it around significantly in the second half, you could see people in that building start to go, well, this season did not trend the way we thought, and why not?
So knowing what we knew before and what we know now, and what we think we know about John Dorsey, how did he let Freddie-Kitchens talk his way into being the play caller as well as head coach?
Well, I think
because that doesn't make sense.
I don't know that he talked his way into it. I think Dorsey thought, we're going to try to capture that relationship that Andy Reid has with Patrick Mahomes, that Shanahan maybe has with Garoppolo.
Much more experience.
And we're going to put a guy in there who's already proven he can work with Baker, and he's already proven he can call plays. So I think the bigger reach would have been to put Kitchens in as head coach and then have him not call plays. What did they see that would make him a good head coach last year, other than play calling? What was it?
Yeah, but how many coaches around the league, head coaches, are also offensive coordinators?
I don't know the number.
It's not a lot.
Yeah, it's probably not a lot.
And if it is, whatever it is, it's guys, experienced head coaches.
And I don't know what his thoughts are on, does he do this for a year or two and then turn it over once he feels comfortable with?
Excellent question.
Maybe that was his idea. I don't think the play calling has been. There've been moments, obviously, the 4th and 9 draw play, not running Chubb at all down at the goal line against the Rams when you have first down at the 4. I didn't see as much in this game in that regard. The curiosity to me was asking Odell-Beckham-Jr. to return a punt in a 28-3 game. What happens if he sprains a knee doing
Are we
that?
sure that he asked him to, as opposed to Beckham just going on the field and saying, "I got this"?
Well,
because
I assume that Beckham wanted to, but I think that's when the head coach has to say, "No, we're not doing this."
Well,
bring him up after the game and say, "I want you guys to know this guy volunteered to return punts." That's the kind of volunteerism I want on this team, but we're not going to risk injury in a game we're losing by 25 points.
No, but normally I don't want to say normally, but quite often in a game like that, you'll see the starting quarterback, want to finish his own game, and it was smart to get him out of there and put Gilbert in there because who knows what could happen, especially when you saw how charged up Bosa and, help me out here, Sherman.
Yeah.
When you saw how charged up they were, who knows what would have happened.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, I agreed with taking Mayfield out, and there were a couple fourth down plays prior to that decision when they punted. One time from there close to midfield.
Right.
I know it was 4th and 10, but it's still close to midfield in a game that they're hopelessly behind. So if you're hopelessly behind and you're punting and you're taking your quarterback out, what are you putting your star receiver back there for?
Makes no sense.
I didn't understand that, but listen, I think overall he's a pretty good play caller. I don't understand some of the stuff he's doing right now, and I wonder if it's because he's got these, this star, I don't want to say star-laden offense, but he has a lot of guys on offense that want the ball and need the ball, and he's trying to figure out how to keep everybody happy.
You also wonder if it's just frustration, and because the first play of the game, you're running a trick play on the first play of the game.
Yeah.
Usually you set that up and then you run it.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one either. They threw a quick screen to Beckham early in the game that went incomplete. It was like he wasn't in the right spot or Baker made a bad throw, and then they never even tried to get back to that again.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Explore your future and interests and find a program that puts you on the path to a bright future from Tri-C, Cuyahoga Community College. Tri-C offers more than 1,000 courses and over 140 career and technical programs. Tri-C, you can find out much more about them by going to tric.edu for more information. Bud Shaw and I are halfway through. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a four-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family cool this summer,
let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at 440-449-HEAT.
Two 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Bud Shaw is with us. And all right, let's check out our Facebook question of the week. We talked about it earlier. We said the question of the week, or the day rather, is Baker Mayfield still your franchise quarterback? All right, so what did we get? We got Ted Moon says, you bet, all time perhaps, but that has to be proven. Better than the alternatives in last year's draft. I'm not a bandwagoner. I believe in our GM, our quarterback, even the coach. Ultimately, all this fair-weatheredness is really hard to read. The best fans in the NFL, that needs to be reproven, in my opinion also. Dave Shoup says the rule is when we lose a game, the coach, quarterback, and all other players are garbage. The media and the fans have all the answers, and anyone related to the team is clueless. It's Groundhog Day NFL style.
Was he trying to say he doesn't like your question very much? Is that
I think that's correct. Wayne Richard Lyons says yes, and how about now working on free agency and draft a franchise offensive line? Browns better be concerned how long Mayfield lasts this season as the hits continue to mount and mount. Frank Marino says Baker has yet to prove that he's a franchise quarterback. He has the potential to be that guy if provided an offensive line in front of him. Rick May says yes. There's nobody else on the sideline to convince me otherwise. An effective offensive line would go a long way, making him that franchise quarterback. Dennis Davis says yes, yes, yes. Avoid the noise. I still think we'll finish 9-7. Ed Arlen says no, he never was the franchise quarterback. Glenn Berger says yes, he is. He's just about starting a full season of NFL games. Give him time to learn, give him a good offensive line, and he'll be a good NFL franchise quarterback. Jay Slagle says, fingers crossed, I hope so. Now,
Hey, listen,
a month ago, 2 months ago, we didn't have that doubt.
No, and then the season began.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, I get the point that, you know, it's a roller coaster. A guy looks good one week, looks bad the next week, or a team does, and you base a lot of your decisions on that. But we're talking about from what you've seen since he walked in the door, and part of that is these 5 games now.
Right.
That's the question. Has these 5 games shaken anyone's confidence that he's still the guy? It hasn't shaken mine.
No, mine neither.
But that doesn't mean he's playing well. So,
no, he's not. But I think we need to see him through the whole season. Almost getting through the tough part of it. It gets easier. And again, if we have this question after week 12 or 13, that's a different story.
Yeah, I guess, was it Ernie Accorsi, often said that his measure of franchise quarterbacks and great quarterbacks is, can they bring you back in the fourth quarter to win a game that you need to win? And frankly, he hasn't been involved in enough of those games yet for us to know.
Here's the other thing. I've had several people, when things go bad, people come out of the woodwork with strange questions. And I've had a couple in the last couple of days asking if Myles-Garrett is totally overrated and useless and a terrible draft pick. Now, who would have thought that?
Yeah.
Do you think that in any way?
No. I think he's seeing a lot of double teaming right now. I think his first 3 games were very strong. I mean, how many sacks does he have this year? He's got
5, I think.
5 or 6. If he finishes the year with a sack a game, 16, that's an all-pro season. And I still think he was the right pick at the right time for them, as opposed to that was the draft I believe that Trubisky was in, right? And part of the building wanted Trubisky, and the other part, the coaches, more wanted to go Myles-Garrett, and I think they made the right decision.
Do you think that was a split decision when they took Baker, or do you think they're just saying that they were all together on it?
No, I think they were together on it. I think that, maybe going into the process, they thought that maybe Darnold was a guy that, size.
Then they saw more of him.
And the more they saw of Baker, I think the more they became convinced. But I don't think it ever went back and forth as it did in some fans' mind, like Saquon Barkley versus Baker. They knew they were taking a quarterback, and they had it down to like 1 or 2 guys.
And Saquon has proven what most people think about running backs, and that is they get hurt.
Yeah, and he's a great player.
Yeah.
I mean, no one would question
with the right
that.
team.
Yeah. But I never understood that. I was not in favor of them even thinking about taking a running back in the top 5 that year. Like, had they taken Mayfield 1 and Barkley was there at 4, or was it 4? I still wouldn't have taken him. I think they did the right thing. They took a quarterback, a corner, and then they got their running back in the late first round or second round? Early second round, Nick-Chubb? Yeah.
So,
and I think that's the way you should probably try to do it.
All right, their cornerbacks, by the way, practiced today, so that's good news. If they don't blow out their hamstring on game day.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to help to have that from a depth standpoint, certainly. And Denzel Ward, we know, had a pretty good year last year. But those 2 guys that have filled in for those guys were starters last year. So I don't think that they're 2 and 3 because Denzel Ward and Greedy Williams have been out.
So who would you play?
Well, I don't know. Like, it's hard to say without seeing these guys move on the field, but I would think that you're going to start the same, whether these guys are active for this game or not, you're going to start the same guys you've been starting, and then you have a bye. And then you can come off the bye, and with these guys being fully healthy now with 2 more weeks, and you're going to need them against Tom Brady and the New England Patriots.
This portion of More Sports and Les-Levine brought to you by Northeast Factory Direct. 50 sofas at around $399 and solid wood bunks set from $299. How about hot tubs? After shopping the Northeast Factory Direct, You can settle back in one of your own 6-person hot tubs. Comes fully loaded with stainless steel jets, LED lighting, and a waterfall. Just $3,800. The same seats sell at the big stores all over the country for over $7,000, but not at Northeast Factory Direct. East, West, and South, 3 locations. East, West 140th Street in Cleveland, the old B&B Appliance in Euclid, and Freeway Drive, that's in Macedonia. Or check out everything they have at northeastfactorydirect.com. Sokolowski's University Inn, but I haven't been there since this afternoon.
I knew it had been a while.
Bernie asked me to remind everybody about the clam bake every Saturday in October. Goes from 4 o'clock in the afternoon till 9. Includes chicken or steak, clams, broth, clam chowder, baked candied yams, red skin potatoes, sweet corn, garlic toast, pumpkin or apple pie, and much, much more. All at Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn. Be sure to call for reservations. It'll guarantee it. 216-771-9236. Cleveland's oldest family-owned and operated restaurant in, well, not just Cleveland, but in Northeast Ohio. Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn. We'll take a break. We'll come on back. Bud Shaw with us. The line's open if you'd like to get in. 216-575-0403. More Sports and Les-Levine, seen exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
I had an epoxy-based sand paint on my floor that deteriorated, and that's why I called Nature Stone.
Why paint? It's expensive, it's ugly, and it doesn't last. Nature Stone is always affordable. It's beautiful, and with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your garage floor again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. It's not just a floor, wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
Boy, when I was last here on Tuesday, we had the worst birthday date of all time. This one much, much better. Wally Berger, born in 1905. Russell Feathers, 1947. Gus Williams. Brett Favre, seen on the left. Troy Tulowitzki and Andrew McCutcheon. It's a pretty good day for birthdays. Time for a How Come Quickie. How come, Bud, if the host of this show put some pillows on the back of his chair, this show would be called More Sports and Les-Levine?
You know what?
No answer for that? Oh, you're grading it. Oh, I didn't realize that. Wow, that's pretty good. 9.0. Not bad at all. All right, let's check out. What are we checking out? Somebody tell me.
My grading scale?
No.
I can
We'll
talk
have
about,
your grading scale a little bit later.
You just got graded on a curve.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been that high normally.
Yeah, you're right. We got some pretty good ones, and hopefully some more will come in before the show's over. Are you watching any of the baseball?
I must admit something, and you're not going to be happy with me.
Well, it's more for me.
I have not watched any of it. I'm sorry.
Tell
I just
me,
haven't.
as a sports fan, which I think below everything, you really are a sports fan.
Way down deep.
They bring in Clayton Kershaw. What they've proven in the last few days is you can't change roles.
Yeah.
You can't change four-man rotation with the three-man just because you need the game. and that's been proven.
That never seems like it's a big deal to fans, whether a guy pitches
No,
on 4 days or 3 days.
they just assume he'll be fine.
But it proves over and over again to be problematic.
Right. So Kershaw comes in with a 3-1 lead in the 8th. He throws 6 pitches. 2 of them were home runs to center field. Then
he has a really cursed. I don't want to say cursed because it sounds like he's the victim of something here. But his postseason record is just unbelievably bad.
How do you explain that?
Based on his talent and what he's done in the regular
Because he's
season.
one of the featured pitchers of the decade.
He's like the modern day Koufax, right?
Right.
Is that too strong?
No, that's okay.
All right.
Lefty.
Yeah.
Dodgers. All right. So then you got Verlander, and he goes with 1 day less, and he gets beat by a team that he owns.
So how do you feel about this? Like, after a team like the Nationals take out the Dodgers, and now if Tampa does the same to Houston, will you continue to watch a World Series without the best teams in the league in that World Series?
Yes, because it's a great story.
I always feel a little like you root for that to happen. When it does happen, you go,
oh, now what?
Now I'm watching.
No, but I usually hate those teams.
Now I'm watching these wild card teams. They weren't even good enough to win their division, and they're in the ALCS and NLCS.
Well, I'll tell you about Tampa Bay. They won every game as the Indians were chasing them. They won every game they had to win, right?
Yeah, and I know you feel that if the Indians had just gotten in there, I just don't know. They just never.
I don't know either. But we're seeing what can happen.
True, it certainly can happen. And
you're seeing Tampa Bay playing Houston. Houston is the best team.
And yet, you make that same argument, and then the Oakland A's seem to be an exception to the argument because they get in every year, or not every year, and they never win. And up until this year, the Nationals would get in and couldn't get past the first round. So, it's hard. It's a really hard sport to win. As opposed to, and I don't, maybe somebody will holler at me for saying this, but to me, the NBA, you can circle, before the season starts, you can circle 6 teams and say, 2 of these 6 are going to be playing for the championship.
Right.
And 89-90% of the time, you're going to be right.
All right.
Baseball, you can't do it.
I was about to ask you this, the obligatory question about the Cavaliers because they start soon. What are they looking for this year? What's a good season? What's a bad season? What is it? I kind of feel sorry for John Beilein getting himself into this.
Yeah, I mean, they've already, and Beilein has already come out and say, you can't really going to be able to measure us on wins and losses, which is,
it's a good thing to preserve your job.
It's a good thing to say, right? Especially your first year with this kind of roster. I think they're going to be looking at the guard play primarily because we don't know, is Kevin Love going to be here throughout the whole year or next year? Is Tristan Thompson figure into their long-range plans?
Do you think if somehow they're near the final playoff spot, they'd almost have to stay?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. But, I don't think they're going to be near that final playoff spot. But I do think that they're looking for this guard situation to shake itself out.
Right, but that's
Who's
fine.
the starting point guard? Is the other guy, can we play these 2 guys together without getting killed defensively? Is one of them better off as a Vinnie Johnson kind of player coming off the bench? I think those are the things that you'll see. Okay, and you just want to see every young player on the team develop.
Right, but that's 2 of 5 positions. Mm-hmm. You have 3 others you got to worry about.
But again, I don't know that the guys who are in those other positions are long-range answers here. And I think we're going to be talking long-range before this team's competing again.
Ouch. I haven't checked yet season ticket sales. Any idea?
I have not either. So, I mean, listen, I don't understand whether, when LeBron left the last time, the attendance held up pretty well. Was that because
they made him buy him?
They made him buy him.
There was a deadline to do that, not knowing whether LeBron was going to be here or not.
Well, now I think we know that it's probably going to be, unless LeBron comes back 3 years from now for one final hurrah. I know how you feel about that.
I don't want him here.
I know you don't. But I think this will be the test of, especially if the Brown, the question in this market was always, could it support 3 really successful teams at the same time with, loges and corporate ticket buys and going into postseasons and all the money that gets spent here. Now, I don't think we ever had all 3 of them
playing well.
2007 was probably the last time, right? Indians were in a ALCS. The Cavs were in the NBA
I wanted
Finals.
to say 16,
and
two out
these
of
guys went 10-6 and didn't make the playoffs.
Right,
but there wasn't a postseason. There weren't three postseasons.
But in 2016, you had the World Series against the Cubs. You had the Cavs winning the championship, and not
and I
not
think you
much
had
for
one
the
in
Browns.
15, didn't you? Was it 1 of 15?
Yeah.
It kind of runs together to that
runs-
with that 0-16 season.
216-575-0403 if you want to get in for the final segment of the show with Bud Shaw. You can certainly do that if you'd like to do that. Northfield Park is your home for live and simulcast racing. And, of course, at Northeast Factory Direct, wait a minute. Bud, there you go. I was right the first time.
You were right, Northfield Park.
Oh.
You
But you know what?
One
Hold
of them
on.
has to change their name.
It's on me. It's
All right,
on me.
There you go.
Northeast Factory Direct we'll talk about soon. In the meantime, Northfield Park, your home for live and simulcast racing. And you can catch the excitement of live harness racing every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Monday through Wednesday, post time 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, post time is 6:40. Open early every day for simulcast action. All over the world, the weekly Sunday contest features Belmont Park, top prize $500 in cash each and every week. Hey, my thanks to Dave Bacon, who filled in for me last night. D-Man Dennis Maniloff is here. Dave, I am told, did a terrific job, and we appreciate that very much. We'll come back. Les-Levine sports history, regular sports history, and more. More sports and Les-Levine exclusively on cleveland.com.
No other company or product can match the features, benefits, and warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor.
There was moisture in the basement. It ruined the carpeting. The smell was terrible. We didn't feel safe in our own basement, and that's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. Get Nature Stone installed by the end of October and save up to half off. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at nick-chubb.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
This day in sports history, Bud, maybe one of the great games of all time in World Series history back in 1920 when they played best of 9 and the Indians wound up winning 5-2 in 7 games. But Game 5, maybe the greatest in World Series history. Bill Wambsgans, who shortened it to Wamby, records an unassisted triple play at second base. Elmer Smith hits the World Series first grand slam, and Jim Bagby, the pitcher, becomes the first pitcher to hit a home run in a World Series game. What a game that would have been.
Yeah, it would have been fun to cover. Especially since it would have started, at 1 in the afternoon?
Last an hour and 15 minutes.
Instead of writing at 1 in the morning?
I think the other day was the anniversary of Don Larson's perfect game, and I think that took less than 2 hours.
Yeah, I just remember the Mazeroski home run, And
yeah, but that was 10-9.
I know, but seeing the clock in the background.
Oh, yeah.
It was a 10-9 game that took like 2 hours and 4 minutes or something, yeah.
All right, lots of stuff to get to here. This is from, all right, it's from Holtzimer Hernandez. I was at the Browns game Monday night. It was a disaster in San Francisco. It was similar to the horrible Titans game. Bad offense, bad defense. Do we have a Jekyll and Hyde team? How should Browns fans take the team now? With serious hope or just another lost season? To most fans, it seems the latter.
I don't think most fans feel like it's a lost season yet. I really don't. I picked them to go 10-6, and I still wouldn't change that prediction based on the second half of the season. I just think they're going to run off 5, 6 maybe more wins in a row. And maybe that's crazy to think that right now, the way they're playing. But
Tom Randazzo says, hi, Bud and Les. Yes, great show. Why doesn't Freddie take a good look at the tape of last year's offense? Shorter passing game put the ball in the hands of the playmakers. I haven't seen any misdirection plays, waggle rollouts with Baker. It seems like we went inside of the organization and brought in a stranger.
Well, I mean, there have been a few things that, like, I thought the Baltimore play calling reminded me more of last year. Remember, you had an option carry by, was it Landry, who had the option of pitching to Beckham if he wanted to on that play? The first play of the game in San Francisco here, you had Beckham throwing the ball. So I think he's done a little bit of that, but I'll agree with the quick hitting offense doesn't seem to be there.
Let's take a look at this date in Les-Levine history, see what we've got coming up for this particular date. And there you have it. October 10th, 1961. As captain of the safety patrol at Roland School, Les announces a shakedown of his fellow students. 1/3 of all Three Musketeers bars collected on Halloween will be turned over to Les's re-election committee.
Wow. No wonder you were a poli-sci major. You could have had a career as a politician.
Could have. That was the plan, Bud.
And is there another date in Les-Levine history?
Well, historically we have them from the end of the week, I think. Maybe we don't. Manager of the grocery store, this is my favorite, but manager of the grocery store where Les shops asked him to get out of the express line because he had at least 50 items in his cart. The manager was told that the sign said 12 items or less, and he was less. Let's continue on.
Can't argue that one.
The 8th of October, Les's friend Bernie beats Les in a wiffle ball home run derby at Chavez-Levine. He goes to plant a flag in front of the house. Unfortunately for Bernie, you can't plant a flag in the street.
You also can't plant one on AstroTurf, as Baker-Mayfield
that too.
found out.
That too. All right, that's it for that. Now we get to the important part of the show, the How Come Quickies.
Are those dates in history, are those loosely based on?
All right, here we go. I think that the Chavez-Levine one said 1959, and Chavez-Levine didn't come up. The fact checkers said 62 is when it started. So, all right, you got me on that.
Hey, it's not like you haven't been ahead of your time before on certain things.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, if my name was Les Pankey, I could have invented Yankee Stadium.
I'll have to think about that one. I have a
Peter
30-minute
Miller,
drive home.
you got to help me with this.
Okay. Yeah.
You got to help me with this.
Okay.
Peter Miller, how come the cannibal chief told the newspaper editor, "Tonight you shall be editor-in-chief"? That's from Pete in Vienna. Does he mean, what does he mean?
Editor-in-chief.
Do you think he means?
I know it may be painful for some people, but could you read that again?
Yeah. How come the cannibal chief told the newspaper editor, "Tonight you shall be editor-in-chief"? Does he mean editor-in-chef? The chef, maybe?
No, okay. Hold on a second.
Oh, you got to give him a grade first. A 2.0.
2.0, because you stumbled over it.
Yeah.
Like, these should be.
They should
But I
flow.
think what he's saying is editor inside the chief, because the chief's going to eat him being a cannibal. But see, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
All right, that's why.
Just for the record, I don't like that one.
Okay. Well, that's why I downgraded it.
Mr. Gullible.
Oh, already.
How come I can start a fire with 2 sticks as long as one of them is a match?
Not a camper.
Apparently he's not a camper.
Not a camper. Okay.
What do you got for him?
7.5.
7.5?
Yeah.
He goes on to say...
I'm out of paper to grade, by the way.
All right, just take anything back.
There we go.
How come if Russians pronounce V's as B's, then Soviet? Should be Soviet? Soviet? His first one was okay, though. 6-1. What was the 2 sticks, one of them being a match?
7.5.
7.5.
Yeah. Right now, it doesn't feel like a strong
this one will
category
win
tonight.
This might even hold up on good nights.
Okay.
This is from John Patrick. He's reminding you and I that this is No Pun Thursday.
Thank you for that.
How come before I met my girlfriend I was incomplete? Now I'm finished. I mean, we're all expecting complete, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now he's finished. What do you
Now,
got?
see, that's the kind of
9-5.
thing that makes you. It's
No
a
punt.
twist. It's a little twist.
That might not win on a Tuesday night, I must
No,
admit.
maybe not on Tuesday, but it gives
Although
you that.
maybe because you'll probably be here next Tuesday.
It's that little trap door. You think you're going in one direction, suddenly.
We call it rabbit holes.
Okay, that too.
You have a final comment?
No, I just, we remember going back to them losing Tennessee, and we said the Jets game is the most important game of the year, and then they won that, and then they lose to the Rams, and we say, oh my God, if they don't win at Baltimore, they're going to be behind in the division. They win that, and so if you follow along, they go loss, win, loss, win, loss. This should be a win, right?
By that mathematical progression, yeah.
I just think it's more important. If they lose a close game to Seattle, I think it's more important that this offense looks good again. Because so far, there's been one game where it really has looked like we thought it would look.
But you said it earlier that when we played the schedule game, Seattle at home seemed like a win.
It didn't seem like a sure win.
No.
Seattle's a good team, but I just thought that was one that if you have them at home, you're playing well.
The closer we're getting to it, the tougher it appears to be.
We have a quarterback in Russell Wilson, who's thrown, I think, 12 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. He's playing as well as he has since he's been in the league. And we all know Pete Carroll's a good coach, and they've all been together out there for a while. So I think they have an advantage.
All right, that'll do it for us. Dave Bacon will have the weekend winners tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday night. We'll see you then. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.